Hey, what's up? Watch this video to learn how to play Game of Thrones.
So, we're playing Game of Thrones. We got Gabe over here,
What's up?
Hillary, and Ben. Our new
I am the knight.
our new friends.
The
Chelsea.
whole internet is gonna see that.
Yeah. And it should be fun. We haven't played Game of Thrones for a long time. This is actually the original game. Well, actually, I think it might even be the first game I ever bought with my own money when I was like 13. So, we've had it for a long time. It's not the new edition, but it's still very fun. And so it was before the TV show, so there's no like TV show art or anything like that. But should be good. All right, so we got the game set up. We got all of our pieces out. The basics of the game is everyone plays as a different house, and you have several units that you can use in combat. We've got footmen, knights, and boats. Footmen are 1 strength in combat. Knights are 2, and boats are 1. Essentially, the way the game goes is that we have an order token phase. So you have these tokens out. Every house has their tokens, and each one basically allows you to do a certain action. So we've got the march token, which is the pike here, and then we've got like the defend token, which is the helmet. We have the support token, which is the fist, and the power token, which is the crown, and then the raid token. That basically determines what you're going to do during the round. At the beginning of the round, we all place tokens face down on the map, and then that determines what you're going to do that round. We've got these cards here. Everyone has house cards, which are basically different characters with different strengths and abilities. And every time there's a battle, each player plays a card. And the sword means that if you win the battle, a sword will kill an enemy unit. And the castle basically defends from the swords. So if you play the castle and you lose, you still defend the sword. And each card adds to the combat strength. So you have your units and then your cards. And the supply track, and the supply track here is determines how big your armies can be out on the map. So you can have, like, if you're out in 1, you can have an army of 3 and an army of 2, and then so on. And then over here, we got the Iron Throne, the Fiefdoms, and the King's Court. So the Iron Throne determines the play order, who goes first. So that's the play order, and the person with the Iron Throne basically determines any like ties or disputes. The sword is the Fiefdoms is basically how strong your military power is. The person in the front gets +1 attack per round, like in one battle, and then wins all ties. And then if you're ahead of someone, fiefdom track, then you win in a tie battle. And then King's Court is basically how many special tokens you can play. So every token has a star, and it basically boosts that token's ability. And you can only play as many of those as indicated by your track. And the King's Court can, once per token phase, once all of the tokens are laid out and then revealed, can replace 1 token before the start of the round of their own.
That's awful.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah. And then we've got story cards that are drawn, and every once in a while the wildlings will attack, and that's pretty much the gist of the game. So I recommend organizing your tokens by kind and then putting them face down so that people can't see what you're playing, because you don't want to let people know what you're playing. And so I'm going to give a few examples here. So the march token, the pike, is the only way you can move and attack in this game. Okay. So if there's a -1, a +1, and a +0, that affects your combat value. So you have a minus, it's pretty straightforward. So if I have a +0 march, so I'll put a march order on my guys here. Boats basically act as bridges, so I can go, into these areas for free with this march order, and I can move my entire army or any number. So I could just use 1, 2, whatever that's there.
Okay.
And you can only move 1 spot. The only way to move more than 1 spot, let's say, is if I have a dude here and a dude there, and then I have 2 march tokens. On my first action, I can move him here, and on my second, then I can move them again. Defense orders are pretty straightforward. It just adds to your combat value when defending. So let's say like I have this defense order here, I have this march order there. For sake of example, this guy attacks this footman. The footman gets +2 to his combat value. Pretty straightforward. And support, let's say there's a support in there. So support basically allows your combat units to go into battle in an adjacent area. Boats can support land, but land cannot support water.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so the currency of the game is power. Everyone starts with 5 power, and you basically use power to bid on things in the game.
Yeah.
And whatnot. To get power, you have these power consolidation tokens, and you can only use them on the map where there's a power symbol. So, and you have to have a unit there. So if you put a unit in a spot with a power token and then play a power token there, then at the end of the round you get your power. A raid token, if you play it next to an enemy that's adjacent to an enemy that played a support token or a power token, you can basically cause that enemy to discard those tokens. The point of the game is to conquer the most cities and citadels, and the first person to 7 wins. All of these, there's little markers here. You got these little cities and then the bigger citadels, and the little ones are worth 1, the bigger ones are worth 2, and that's also where you get your units from. So every once in a while we'll draw a muster units card, and depending on what big of cities you own, that's how many units you get. Everyone starts with 1. Their home city is a big citadel. When you occupy the territory, it's yours.
Keep occupying it.
Yep.
Okay.
You can't exceed your army strength, your supply track.
Yeah, your supply track.
So most of us are on 2, you're on 1. So basically everyone on number 2 can only have 3 armies, which is an army of 3 and 2 armies of 2. This isn't considered an army, this is just one person. You can have as many of those as you want. So Eli's got 2 armies of 2 right now. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I've got an army of 2 and that's it. So I can have 2 more armies.
So you could have as many single people
And as many
as you
single
want
people as you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
on one space.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
First round, we don't draw any cards. So the first thing we do is place order tokens, right?
Well, at the same time.
So everyone places their order tokens. Like I said, you don't have to keep them face down, but I like to keep them face down so that no one can see what you're doing. And you place an order token on all of your spots with units, which determines what you're going to do for the next round.
The original Game of Thrones is 3 to 5 players. With the expansion, it's 6. The updated version, the one that you can find in the stores with the TV art, that's also up to 6 players. It typically takes 2 to 4 hours to complete this game. You go play for 10 rounds, where the first person to 7 to 8 cities and strongholds wins the game. It's super fun strategy game with a lot of different dynamics, but it's not too complicated to understand. Thank you for watching our video. If you like our content, click here to subscribe. To see more board game videos, click here. And if you like, download our free-to-play and print game right here. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below.